How's it going, Lazy Bruces? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Ever 17. Now, we've got the entire crew together. There's 6 of us alive in the complex at this stage, so I think that's, hopefully everybody survives, so that's going to be all of us. But we have discovered the gravity of the situation, that we are all stuck in a very small area and the entire first floor is flooded. Let's carry on, shall we? A little while later. But, well, getting depressed isn't going to solve anything, is it? Let's be positive. Positive is the word. Alright, everybody? You broke the silence with your energetic pep talk. No one responded. Now quit looking so depressed. Even if we're floating in the middle of the Pacific, it's not as if we're lost in a blizzard. So what? So, I mean, if we wait a few hours, help will probably come. How do you know that? Well, think about it. We don't know why, but we've been trapped inside this cramped complex. On top of that, we don't have any way to contact the outside. But listen. Even if we can't contact anyone, someone else will probably will. Like who? Oh, that's right. You mean like your colleagues or Sarah's classmates or teacher? You gave a big nod as if to say that's right. And Takeshi, you weren't alone when you got here either, right? Well, that's true. The people on the floating island should have noticed a long time ago that we're still down here. Yep. So I don't know if it'll be a rescue team or a search team or what, but anyway, someone should come to help us soon. So, satisfied? Sarah, Sora, Takeshi and I all nodded. Hope returned to everybody's face. Only Tsugumi. Only she kept her cold gaze trained on us. Maybe it's like the Resident Evil movie. Maybe she came in here to sabotage the place, but she got stuck here. Like the guy who went to steal the T-virus and got stuck there. We all moved to the conference room together. There was something unnerving about waiting for help in the dimly lit control room, and there weren't that many chairs to start with. I wondered if there were a place in one of the dry areas that everyone could relax. The closest one was the conference room we were at. Hey, Sora, how come you know so much about Lemieux? I asked Sora, who was sitting next to me. Probably because I'm a systems engineer at Lemieux's Research and Development Division. Actually, I'm the Assistant Chief. Assistant Chief? So you're pretty high up then? Yeah, I would say that. Only a name. I'm really just an assistant, it's no big deal. But hey, Sora, weren't you up at the gate above ground? You were giving some kind of explanation at the entrance, right? I only heard half of it, but that's right, so you noticed. We're short-staffed here, so from time to time I do that kind of work. Sora smiled. I wonder what the gate above ground was. I didn't understand what Takeshi and Sora were talking about, but for now, I knew the reason why Sora knew so much about Lemieux. So that means there are 2 employees from Lemieux here then. 2? I mean you. Well, I'm not really an employee, it's just a part-time thing. And Takeshi? You came for fun. You just came for fun. What are the reason what I have for coming to a theme park? And Sarah? I'm here as a volunteer. Huh? Volunteer? It's an event for juniors at Q-May-Can. But it's basically just for fun. Huh? Without thinking, I let out a cry. For some reason, something bothered me. Everybody here, you're not all friends, right? No way, we just met. So then why are you talking like Takeshi, like your old friends? And Takeshi is talking to you guys the same way. Oh, that's right, you don't know. What? When we all met up on Zweitstop, we introduced ourselves. Oh, so that's it. Yep, that's it. Still seems strange how they're all so friendly for having just met. That was what I thought. What about you? What's your name anyway? Huh? I'm pretty sure we haven't heard yet. I'm an assassin, that's what he is. An assassin? He's being hunted by the underworld. I'm not being hunted. I told you to quit taking things so seriously, you just don't get it. Alright, I'll explain for him. Actually, he's got amnesia. Amnesia? You gave him a brief explanation of my situation. She told them how I'd forgotten my name, address, family and friends, and that I only remembered the date and everything after meeting you. After listening to the explanation, Sora said, sounds like it's probably complete amnesia, a type of retrograde block. Complete amnesia, it's also called retrograde life amnesia. While general education and knowledge remain intact, one's name, background, family and friends, all aspects of one's life history are wiped completely from one's memory. Normally one's memory returns within a few days or months. Hypnotism and electroshock therapy, also said to be effective means... Electric shock? Relax. To put it another way, this type of amnesia usually solves itself naturally. They don't use electroshock therapy anymore, do they? I know this game's old, but it's not that old, come on. Jesus. Please tell me nobody uses electroshock therapy anymore. So for now, you really shouldn't worry or think too much about it. It's really the best medicine for you. See? It's just like I said, right? Don't worry, things will be fine. So there you have it. You say it like it's somebody else's problem. It's not what I meant. I mean, memory's a weird thing. Sometimes when you're thinking about something entirely different, boom, you just remember. Like with celebrities. You know their face, but you just can't remember their name. I wonder if that's the way it works. So how far back do you remember anyway? How far back? Yeah, you knew Sora and my faces, right? And you remembered my name. How far? How far back? I searched back in time for the edge of my memory. Was there a point where I could still remember, and a point where I'd forgotten? Different images floated through my mind as if to provide an answer. That was it. I'd lost my memory when I fell into the pond at the rest area. That had to be it. I couldn't remember anything before that, and I remembered everything after that. So that tumble into the pond was my line between my memory and my non-memory. My consciousness was cut off. I think it probably happened when I fell in the pond. I announced this to everybody. By pond you mean the pond at the rest area? I think so. You don't remember anything before that? No vague images or anything come to mind? Like the scenery around your house or the girl you like? On TV, there you sometimes see dramas about people who don't remember anything but who instinctively know things. I get it, like the guy who paints like a pro or the instant he takes up a brush. Yeah, like that. So maybe you should try and search to see and touch a lot of things. Yeah, what should we have him do first? The conversation about me went on around me. My temples were throbbing. My face was distorted with pain. Oh, we're gonna black out again. Wait a second. Sora just said it, right? You really shouldn't worry or think too much about it. If you put too much pressure on him, the mental stress will turn him into a wreck. A wreck? Like mental overload, maybe? Sometimes he starts groaning like he's in pain and then he suddenly collapses. Is that right? So when it comes to things having to do with his memory, take it easy, or... You gently placed her hands on my head. When she did, it was strange, but it seemed to suck the pain away. Okay, got it. Now let's talk about something else. Something's been bothering me for a while. What do you suppose we should call him? Oh yeah, we should probably decide to call him something, or else it'll kind of be a pain. How about John? Don't you think that would be a little rude to all the people named John? Or it's kind of random, but how about John Doe? Don't you think that's kind of rude to the other Johns? Well, it's only for a little while, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's call him Sniper. Why are you so hung up on that? He's not that kind of guy at all. Or how about John Mitochondria? I don't get it. Let's see. Let me think of another one. What about Malos? What? What's Malos supposed to be? It's short for Mr. Memory Loss. Nah, it's bad luck to name him that. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so direct. Naku, don't you have any ideas? Well, how about Mr. A? That makes him sound like a convict or something. How about Mr. B? What's the difference? How about Astiane Kumagawa? How about Memory On? Enough with this. Something simple is just fine. We can call him Kid Q. Hey you, which one do you like? All of them. Stink. Don't be so picky. These are tough times for everybody. Wow. Oh my god. I get to pick? Oh, which one do I like the most? Oh, I like Motoki Inamura. That's pretty good. Ken Inami. That's easy because I can just say Ken. Tomoya Mikami. Makoto Ishihara. That one's pretty good too, actually. Let's go with Makoto. Like off Danganronpa. Makoto's good. Makoto? No way. Forget it. You gotta be kidding. I can't concur. I mean, it doesn't suit you. Oh, this is a pain. Let's just call him Kid. Just then. Enough. Tsugumi pounded the table and stood up. Just what are you trying to do? What are you all thinking? What? We were thinking of a name. Stop goofing off. The room went quiet. We all looked at each other. Yeah, she's right. The first one to open her mouth was you. We're not thinking about his feelings at all. We just got carried away. That's not what I mean. Well, Tsugumi, what would you suggest we call him? See, it's tough to think of a name. Fine, do what you want. Tsugumi said this in disgust and left the room. What's up with her? Why is she so angry? Takeshi, did you do something to make her mad at you? I didn't. I don't get it. She's been like that since we met. It appears that we should be a little bit careful around how we treat Tsugumi. Let's just be patient. Once she sees that we don't have any ill will or hostile feelings, things will probably resolve themselves. Felt as if something was controlling me. The next thing I knew, I found I was rushing out of the room. Down the corridor, Tsugumi was kicking water as she walked. I didn't know where she was heading. I called out to her back. Hey, wait! Tsugumi didn't stop. There was no sign that she would look back. Tsugumi! Tsugumi! When I finally caught up with her, I put my hand on her shoulder. Don't touch me. Can you please not touch me? Tsugumi stopped walking and said it in a small voice. Sorry. Apologizing, I took my hand from her shoulder. What? What do you want? I haven't introduced myself. I didn't save! Somehow I couldn't look Tsugumi in the eye. Just our eyes meeting sent my heart pounding. There's no need. I don't want to talk to you. Why not? Did I do something to make you angry? Listen, cut it out. I've had enough of that. Just drop it. Of this? Don't pretend like you don't know, please. I'm not pretending. I see through you. I know everything. I don't believe it. I never thought that you'd join up with those guys. Those guys? Join up? You were just talking about amnesia, right? Yeah. So how do you know those guys? We explained all that just a bit ago. I remember meeting you. Weren't you listening? Don't lie to me. Suddenly Tsugumi raised her voice. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm not falling for it. Don't you ever talk to me again, got it? With that, Tsugumi strolled away. I couldn't find the words to stop her. I stared after her, shrinking back in silence. When I returned to the conference room in the center of the table was a three-dimensional image of Lemu. You, Sarah, Sora, and Takeshi were looking at it and discussing something intensely. Hey, what are you talking about? Oh, hey, welcome back, kid. What happened to Tsugumi? I shook my head. I told you, she's difficult, huh? This time I nodded. Tsugumi was difficult for sure. I had no idea what she was thinking. There was no point in prying any more into Tsugumi's situation. I asked him again. So? What were you talking about? I mean, just now. The cause of the current situation. And what steps we should take from now on. That's what we were discussing. Oh, the cause of the accident and steps to take, huh? Hey, do you mind filling me in on what you came up with? You can keep it simple. Sure. Well then, allow me to explain about the accident one more time. Saying that Sora touched program image above the table. Then she said the following. 12:45 PM, Lemu was suddenly struck by a blackout. The cause is unclear. Immediately after that, an emergency evacuation order was issued. The cause of this was unclear as well. In any case, the evacuation of Lemu by visitors and employees was initiated at this point. 12:54 PM, the emergency doors were activated. What does that mean? That is referring to the emergency escape exits connected directly to the floating island. These are located at the very upper part of the emergency stairs. Normally, except under extreme circumstances, this door is not open. But you're saying that it was open? Yes. What exactly does except in extreme circumstances mean? I'm not sure that I can say for sure, but in the manual, this is written that in the case of an emergency, it is necessary to temporarily hold visitors in the decompression chamber. Why? But what if you have to escape in a hurry? Why do you have to stop in the decompression chamber? Because if you just go to the surface, your body will decompress in order to prevent decompression sickness. Yeah, decompression sickness, like divers get. When there's a sudden decrease in pressure, the nitrogen that is dissolved in the person's blood gasifies and can cause blood clots that interfere with circulation. I'll explain that later. For now, let me continue this topic, alright? Sure. Anyway, what you're saying is that these doors that shouldn't be opened were open, is that it? That's correct. This is only my best educated guess, but it would appear that probably one of the visitors panicked in their confusion manually opening the emergency airtight doors, and the door was not closed, but was left open. According to roughly 6 atmosphere mixture of gas inside suddenly was released outside the room. Sora continued her explanation. 2:39 PM, helium. Since it's lighter than oxygen and nitrogen was released first, and internal pressure drops to the equivalent of the external pressure of 1 atmosphere. 3:55 PM, water leak occurs. Lemire is a structure designed based on saturation diving specifications. Saturation diving specifications? What does that mean? To equalize the internal air pressure with, or to set it at levels above, the external water pressure to keep the unit from being crushed by seawater. That is what it means. Do you understand? I mean, not really, but should I say that? Not really. I tilted my head. To think about what would happen if you took a plastic bottle capped and filled with air and put it deep in the water. What would happen? The side of the bottle would dimple in, right? Exactly. This phenomenon is due to the air inside the bottle being pushed in by the water pressure. So to keep the bottle from being compressed, what do you have to do? Pressurize it? The answer is simple, you pack more air into the bottle. If the pressure from outside and the pressure from inside are balanced, then the bottle shape will not change. This is what is meant by saturation diving specifications. That's a little bit of a rough example. I think I get it. By the way, in this bottle that we were talking about, that is filled with air and immersed in the water, what happens when you open a hole in the top? The air will leak, and then the air will escape out, and then the balance of pressure is lost and the bottle will be crushed. That's right. And that may be precisely what occurred and the primary cause of the flooding here at Lemire. Due to the drop in internal pressure to 1 atmosphere, the weakest area of the structure, the glass, cracked, letting in massive quantities of water. Subsequently, in order to minimize damage, MMIH automatically closed the watertight doors. And so we're all trapped in here. Yes. Maybe it was because I jumped to a complicated discussion, but somewhere in my head it felt like it was tearing. But thinking back on Sora's explanation, there were 2 key points. 1. The reason for the complex blackout was unclear. 2. The reason for the drop in air pressure was that we had sprung a leak. Huh? Hold on a second. Takeshi, who had been listening quietly, now spoke. So, this here is 1 atmosphere of pressure. Yes, that's correct. Why do you... So, does that mean that this voice alternator thing that we're wearing, that we don't need it anymore? No, that... Please keep wearing it. Why? The helium gas is mostly gone, right? Only you remained silent. It looked like she was awkwardly avoiding my gaze. Anyway, please don't take them off. Why not? What reason is... The reason. The reason is... Well, if Sora says so, that should be good enough. I'm still wearing it. I don't have any problem with it. This voice alternator. Well, that's for sure. I'd almost forgotten I was wearing it. See? Anyway, more importantly, we should be talking about what are we going to do now. And talking about our next step. At least that's my opinion. Next step, huh? After that, we crossed our arms and started brainstorming, but we couldn't come up with even a single good idea. In the end, I guess all we can do is wait for help to come. Of course, there was no reason to expect a differing opinion. Nearly an hour had passed since Tsugumi had left the room. Sora had said that she was going to try to think of a plan and went back to the control room. The remaining 4 of us didn't have anything to say or do and continued to wait for contact or help from the outside. Tsugumi hasn't come back. Sarah muttered this. I wonder if it's good to leave her alone like this. I don't think there's anything good about it. Hey kid, you followed after Tsugumi a bit ago, right? Yeah. She didn't say where she was going or anything? Nope, she didn't mention anything. Oh wow. You want to look for her? As if her words were a sign, I stood up. For some reason, you made straight for the control room. Huh? Why the control room? You don't remember? When we gathered in the control room before, Sora said something, right? By searching for the life readings or biosigns of such and such. She said that? Yep, she for sure did say that. Weren't you listening? I thought I was, but... So why don't we do a bioscan for life? We'll probably know where Tsugumi is right away. Bioscan. Seems like one difficult word after another was being thrown at me. I wonder if this is part of amnesia. There are so many words and phenomena and systems and stuff here that I was at a loss. Without thinking, I let go of a sigh. Incidentally, there was another thing that I'd not been able to understand. Somewhere along the line, everyone had taken to calling me Kid. That random decision-making process to find a consensus on my name had ended up with me being called Kid. Well, it was better than John Mitochondria anyway, but still, it was all hard for me to understand. I sighed again, shaking my head, following everyone into the control room. Hey, is something wrong? It's better than Fred Gonorrhea. Sora tilted her head, looking at us quizzically as we shuffled into the room. Well, we didn't just think like we could leave Tsugumi alone like this. Yeah, so we thought if we could get you to do another bioscan. Oh, I see, so that's it. So you want me to investigate the location of Tsugumi then? Please wait a moment. A map of Lemieux was displayed on the monitor. It enlarged and reduced in size, slid, spun, the image switched and changed in a dizzying way. Sora? Will you really know where Tsugumi is just by running a biosearch for her? Yes. Humans are hemothermic animals, meaning that they constantly maintain a temperature of around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Their body temperature can be detected using infrared radiation. Via this technique, we can affirm the location and number of humans in the Lemieux complex. See, there it is. See that uncertain bit of light in his white stock? There's no mistake. That's Tsugumi. Below that, in a room in Curator's stock, there are also a number of light-emitting points overlapping. I think that was probably the control room. Huh? What is... Just then I noticed something strange. In the corner of the monitor, life readings, 7, was displayed in small letters. I thought we had the whole crew, but it looks like we're missing someone. What is it? Isn't there something strange about this number? See? I pointed to the corner of the monitor. Life reading 7. 7? 7? 7? What? There should be a total of 6 people trapped in Lemieux. You, Sarah, Sora, Tsugumi, Takeshi, and me. Yet, the main computer, MMIH, was indicating that there were 7 people. What in the world? And then... Life readings 5, 7, 6. 576, 576. The numbers change by the second. And always the number 6, plus or minus 1. Why? Why is this happening? Flustered and out of character, Sora was busily operating the console. I just about said bustily operating the console. But the numbers... Freudian slip there. But the numbers continued to fluctuate and there was no sign that they would stop. I shifted my eyes to the points of light on the map. Even if the life reading numbers had changed, the points of light didn't increase or decrease. If the number really is 7, then that would mean that there's another person here that didn't get out in time. Yeah, assuming that 7 is the right number. Hold on everybody, calm down. For a while I watched the number switch. Finally, it stopped on the number 6. Life reading 6. It stopped on 6. It's probably broken or something. No, it shouldn't be. Anyway, it looks like it's settled on 6, so that's probably the right number, right? Makes sense. Think about it. It's hard to imagine anyone else is here. But what, kid? We looked all over Lemieux, and we didn't meet anyone. That's true, but... Well, either way, it's something we can solve by walking around the complex, right? But more important is securing Tsugumi. Securing, you mean saving. Saving is removing an object from danger. Securing is removing danger itself. Is Tsugumi really that dangerous? Oh, that's right, I haven't told Sarah. You and all about everything that crazy girl have... And that crazy girl, have I? No? No? Alright, it's time to think of a way of securing Tsugumi. Are you ready? We climbed the emergency stairs to the floor where Tsugumi was. Only Sora remained in the control room, thinking of ways to escape, trying to re-establish communications, rechecking the complex, and trying to get other systems that were down back online. Man, she is the most useful one of all of us. We arrived at its white stock, and when we did, a voice came from the speaker above the corridor. Right now, Tsugumi. It seems to be in the security office. I figured Sora was using the complex intercom system to announce Tsugumi's location. Got it, the security officer. Takeshi said this toward the ceiling. On the way to the office, he said, "Hey Takeshi, I've got an idea. I think this kind of thing is, well, better with just girls." Just girls? I think just Mayo and I should go. That way it might be easier to talk to Tsugumi. Mayo, you're okay with that, yeah? Sure, I'm fine with that. Why can't Takeshi and I come along? This kind of thing gets messy when there are guys around. 4 against 1 triggers fear, you know, fight or flight reactions. That and, let's call it female intuition. Intuition? I've got a hunch that Mayo and I can fix this misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, eh? That's what it is, isn't it? We haven't done anything to make her angry, so... That's true. It might be better to just let the 2 girls go instead of going in a group. For some reason, I didn't have any confidence in my abilities to get Tsugumi to open up to us. And I was sure that this type of thing wasn't one of Takeshi's strong points either. Then I guess we'll leave it up to you. So with that, you and Sarah headed to the security office. Takeshi and I were left in the middle of the corridor, at a loss of what to do. So what now? What do you say? Want to wait in front of the security office? I don't think that would accomplish anything, but then what? I don't know. For now, we can take a look around. I've had enough of that. Well, I haven't. You, Sarah, and I walked so much that we just about wore holes in our shoes. Is white stock and Drite stock everything? In that case, why don't we give the merry-go-round a shot? I don't know, 2 guys on the merry-go-round sounds kinda... yeah. Well, anyway, I've decided to take a look around inside Lemur. I'm the kind of guy that just has to see things with his own 2 eyes. So Takeshi and I split up to search. We agreed to meet up at 9:30 PM. We were to meet in front of the security office. Lemur has 3 layers below the ocean's surface. Boden, Zweitstock and Drite stock. There are 17 meters between each floor. If you go down a floor, then you go 17 meters or 51 feet deeper. Thus, the 3rd floor, Drite stock, is located 51 meters or 103 feet depth. For all of this time on my hands, I visited Sora in the control room. Sora politely and in an easy to understanding way explained to me how Lemur, which I knew about Lemur, which I knew almost nothing. Outside of Drite is a total of 6 atmospheres of pressure, 5 atmospheres water pressure and 1 atmosphere of air pressure. Even if hypothetically you were to suddenly go out of the ocean into the ocean from Drite, your lungs would be crushed to about 1/6 of their size, and approximately 5/6 of your lungs would be flooded. You would likely die in a matter of minutes. Can I ask a question? Go ahead. How much pressure exactly is 5 atmospheres of water pressure? It's hard to imagine. 1 atmosphere is 1 kilogram of weight per square centimeter. Yeah, isn't 1 atmosphere of air pressure like 10 tons on a human body, on average? The difference in pressure inside and outside of Lemur is 5 atmospheres, or a multiple of 5. Please think of it as 5 kilograms or around 11 pounds of weight per square inch. 5 kilograms of weight per square inch. So for each meter that would be 100 times 100 or 50 tons. That's correct. But what about those people that skin dive? They can reach depths of about 90 feet, right? The current world record for free diving is 150 meters or around 450 feet. With an aqualung that pauses along the way, probably just about anyone could dive around 105 feet. However, the air sent to your lungs would be highly pressurized gas, but with skin diving, they don't stop to breathe along the way. Amateurs can't make it past 65 feet. Any deeper than that requires intensive training. Wow, is that right? And there's one other important thing. Even if you can withstand the water pressure, could you really swim the 167 feet to the surface? 51 meters? How high is that? 51? That's fucking high! Imagine a 15-story building, or 5 3-story school buildings stacked upon each other. 5 schools stacked. No way, I couldn't swim that. Well then, how about a building with 10 stories? A depth of 34 meters, or just over 100 feet. That is the depth of the white stock. 34 meters, huh? No fucking way. Even that would be impossible. I think you're probably correct. So basically what you're trying to say is that we basically can't escape by swimming, right Sora? Yes. I guess in the end all we can do is wait for help to arrive. That is what it comes down to. As I was so involved with my chat with Sora, I'd missed the appointed meeting time. I left the control room and headed toward the meeting point in front of the security office, but Takeshi wasn't there. Hey Takeshi! I tried to call out to him, but there was no reply. Glancing at the security office, I noticed that the door was wide open. I decided to take a peek in the room. No one was there. Not you, Sarah, nor Tsugumi. Hey Sora! Sora, everybody, where are you? I looked at the bare ceiling and called out. I figured Sora would be in the control room monitoring me, but apparently she wasn't. There were no sounds from the speakers on the ceiling. I wonder what I should do, I thought as I wandered through the... walking through the corridors. First, we should just go back to the control room. That's what I would do. But she can find out where everyone else is. Makes sense to me. I went to the control room again. What's up, any progress? Unfortunately, no. It appears that even MMIH is not able to accurately gauge the situation. It is something that would normally be unthinkable. I turned my eyes to the massive monitor behind Sora. A flat map of Lemu's white stock and Drite stock floors were displayed. Le MMIH was monitoring Lemu wall to wall 24 hours a day. If Le MMIH couldn't survey the situation, then what in the world? By the way, why is Le MMIH called Le MMIH? Oh, haven't I told you? No, I haven't heard. Le MMIH's proper name is Lieblich. Oh my god. Medyson Multiverfahren Intelligent Hirn System? Actually, indicates that. What was that? Can you give it to me one more time? No, please don't. The Multiverfahren Intelligence Hirn System. What language is that? It's German. What does it mean? The first part, Lieblich Medyson, indicates the name of a pharmaceutical company. The bit after that means something along the lines of Parallel Processing Artificial Intelligence System. The final letter of each word created the acronym Le MMIH, so they called the system Le MMIH. Le. I see. Hey, there are two things I wanted to ask you. What might they be? That libel, what was it again? Lieblich Medyson. In Japan it's known as Lieblich Pharmaceuticals. So what is the relationship between Lieblich and Lemu? The company managing the theme park is called Lemu, and the largest stockholder is Lieblich Medicine. I see. So essentially I guess that Lieblich has the right to say whatever happens at Lemu. I suppose that's a reasonable interpretation. The origin of the name of this theme park, the official line is that it was named after the phantom or lost continent Lemuria. But actually I've heard that it was just a combination of the first letters of Lieblich Medyson and Utopia. Utopia. In other words, Lieblich created this place to be a dreamlike utopia. So that's why they named it that. A utopia, right? And what was your second question? Well, it's about German. German? Yeah. You said that Le MMIH's official name is German, right? And all around Lemu are these German signs and stuff. I wondered why German? That's because Lieblich Pharmaceuticals is a joint venture between a Japanese and German company. Its headquarters are in Frankfurt and the majority of officials are German. So that's why it's all in German. So Lieblich Pharmaceuticals had a pretty strong relationship with Lemu then. Since I'm asking, can I ask you one more thing? Go ahead. Why did Lieblich Pharmaceuticals want to run a theme park anyhow? I mean, we're talking about Lieblich Pharmaceutical. They make medicine, right? Doesn't seem to have anything to do with a theme park. And this is right in the middle of the ocean, right? Why go to all the trouble of... Because... I'm sorry. I can't answer that question. What? Why not? It's confidential information. Confidential? What in the... Who could I possibly tell? We're probably gonna die down here anyway. I can't imagine that a kid like me finding out could cause any damage. You really can't even tell little old me? Sora had gone quiet and wasn't answering. Okay, I understand. Well, just forget about it. I'm really sorry. It's alright, you don't have to apologize. You have to keep the secret as part of your job, right? There's nothing you can do about it. Awkward. Alright, I'll tell you one thing. Lemu does not rely on energy provided from the outside, but generates all of its energy in this complex. And directly under us, at a depth of 119 meters or 357 feet, is the seafloor. There is a thermal vent on the surface of the seafloor, where water several hundred degrees is pumped out, and the heat from it is used to operate generators. I waited for the rest of the explanation, but Sora didn't say any more. Okay. What does that have to do with what we were just talking about? Sora let the question go. Do you mind if I get back to work? Oh, sorry to bother you. I gave up and left. Lemu was controlled by a Japanese-German joint venture called Lieblich Pharmaceuticals. Why did they build a theme park here? To harness the energy of the thermal vents, by the sound of it. And what could that have to do with the fact that they generate their own energy? I left with this mystery spinning in my mind. I thought I'd go somewhere else. Alright, we're going to save here because we're out of time for today. Seems like the perfect time to stop anyway. At least we found out a little bit more information. I have no idea where we're going to go next. And I was kind of hoping that she would pinpoint where everybody else is so I can just go find them. But I guess we're just going to wing it. Till the next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see you in the next one.